Good afternoon. House Education Finance Committee will come to order. Let's see, Representative Jurgens, have you had an opportunity to review the minutes from our last meeting?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to move the minutes from the March 14th meeting.
Thank you. Representative Jurgens has moved that we adopt the minutes. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, the minutes are adopted. Thank you very much, Representative Jurgens. All right, we've got a very full agenda, and members, we do have the basement hearing room reserved for tonight, just in case we don't finish up, which I think is a likely possibility, but we'll see how things go. So my intention, and again, I've got a lot of members running back and forth presenting bills, is to try to get the members up who do not serve on this committee first, and then turn to committee members. We'll try to do that, but we may have to adjust that plan as the committee goes along. So we'll start with Representative Zerwas.
Madam Chair,
Representative Dadney.
as Representative Zerwas is coming forward, I do have a concern for testifiers who've come more than 50 miles is the usual measure here. So as you adapt through the hearing, I would ask that you consider that.
Thank you. Yes, that is a good point, Representative Dabney. And so if any members presenting here know that you've got testifiers from more than 50 miles, you do, all right? I presume so in looking at the list, but
I do know of at least one other on one of your bills that I believe is more than 50 miles.
all right. So we will do our best, but I can't make any guarantees, but we'll do our very best, all right? Representative Zerwas.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
And I'm sorry, I gotta get my file out with your bill, so I will go ahead and move House File 2104 be laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill. And welcome to the committee, Representative Zerwas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, members. Madam Chair, I want to thank you for hearing the bill. I know it was submitted late. Elk River's switching over leadership with our new school superintendent, and so while we're excited about that, we're a little late in getting this bill in. Madam Chair, members, this bill deals with compensatory aid for the top 20 districts and making sure that those that compensatory aid is in line with the average. And I have two testifiers here from the Elk River School District that can talk a little bit about the challenges that we face as a district on the outskirts of the suburbs.
All right, thank you, Representative Zerwas. And if your testifiers want to come forward, welcome. And to each of you, if you would just state your name before you provide your remarks so we have that for the record.
Certainly. Thank you, Madam Chair and Education Finance Committee members. My name is Corey Franson. I'm the Director of Community Engagement, Community Ed for Independent School District ISD 728. Our district spans the Rogers area, Otsego, Zimmerman, and Elk River areas in the northwestern portion of our metro area. Appreciate the opportunity to come here today and appreciate Representative Zerwas putting this bill forward for us. ISD 728 is experiencing a widening achievement gap for our struggling learners. Due to the limited compensatory funds that we receive, we focus the majority of our dollars on 3 out of 25 buildings in our district. This means remaining schools in our district have limited resources for those compensatory funds, and though the funds are definitely supporting our struggling learners who have the highest of needs, unfortunately the limited funds fail to address the needs of many of our students who could benefit from individual intervention strategies. Our district utilizes research-based curriculum and intervention strategies to provide individualized differentiated learning using the MTSS, or multi-tier systems of support model. Our interventions are showing positive results, but we can only serve a fraction of the students that truly need our help in our district. Access to these compensatory funds would mean that we would expand our intervention strategies to serve more of our struggling learners by adding in-classroom interventions to keep students in the classroom and reduce the need to remove students for those intervention strategies. expand our best practice, data-proven intervention strategies to all of our schools and provide additional resources and training to support those interventions. And we would serve twice the number of our struggling learners to help close the largest achievement gap that we have within our district population. I'll now certainly turn over to Greg Hine, our Executive Director of Business Services.
Thank you, Chair Loon and members of the committee. I've been over 20 years in education, finance, multiple school districts across the state, and including 6 years at the Department of Education in the finance area. So I feel I'm pretty well versed in funding formulas and things. The economic disparity that this is causing to districts like ours, I would sort of consider Elk River to be a poster child of the issue at stake here, amongst other educational equity funding issues that you all have to deal with, and I know how difficult that is. But for example, Elk River has a total enrollment of about 13,000 students, and we have almost 2,000 that qualify for free and reduced lunch. The fact that those 2,000 students are spread out amongst all of our different schools in the district and the way that the current funding formula works puts us on a very low end of the amount of compensatory revenue that we generate. Yet those at-risk learners still have those needs. A good example is the Rogers Elementary School. They have 64 students that qualify for the free and reduced lunch, and they generate a grand total of $13,000 of compensatory revenue. Obviously, that isn't enough or sufficient resource to hire and staff in any meaningful way to move the needle and address the needs of those students. We all know that education is a key component to breaking the economic disparity cycle, so the funding formulas should and need to reflect that to provide and not put these students at a disadvantage educationally. Excuse me. In further compounding that cycle. So that's pretty much what our situation is.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate your testimony. Did you have any other testifiers, Representative Zerwas?
Madam Chair, in interest of the committee's time, we kept it to these two testifiers.
Thank you, we appreciate that. All right, any questions from committee members? Representative Thiessen.
Thank you. Can you just let me know what property tax amount you levy?
What was the question?
The property taxes at the local level.
Mr. Hine, do you know, so I think what Representative Thiessen is asking, do you have a levy? Are you asking about an operating levy, Representative Thiessen? Do you have an operating levy in Elk River?
Yes, we do, and it's, we've set it to, we just approved it a couple of years ago to raise it from roughly $350 up to the maximum amount that qualifies for equalization, which is $760 is where we're at now.
Okay, thank you.
We have kind of extraordinary issues with our growth and construction, that we have a lot of debt levy, so it kind of hampers our ability to go much farther than that. And we would be into the unequalized territory, so that would all be 100% levy beyond the 760.
Thank you, Mr. Hine.
And Madam Chair, and that's one of the challenges that my community faces kind of on the outskirts as being in Sherburne County, one of the 10 fastest growing counties in the United States. We face growth pressure and enrollment pressure that's ebbs and flows with the economy, and so we find ourselves in this constant build cycle, very capital intensive and debt intensive, and so I feel as though our voters have kept up with debt levy requirements. It's a challenge. While other suburban schools might be trying to figure out if they should add Italian or Russian for their foreign language components, we're trying to keep Spanish and keep our young learners getting the special services that they require. It's one of those situations where we're really trying to hold the program together with baling wire and duct tape.
Thank you, Representative Zerwas. Additional questions? Representative Mariani.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Representative Zerwas, for bringing this bill. I have several questions, but maybe I can just take offline with you. But very quickly on that point, So compensatory, of course, is, funds that we make available for a variety of students that face, additional, barriers to an equitable education. Much of that is tied to economic status or some other socioeconomic status, such as, language issues, et cetera. So what's happening, particularly in the Elk River School District, so I get the whole thing around growth, right? But obviously, there's something I think you're responding to that's more than just, middle-class homes being built, that there's something happening with the socioeconomic dynamics of the Elk River community that begs this kind of investment. They're typically targeted for low-income kids. So what's happening there? And it doesn't have to be a long one, because this is not just an education issue, but part of why I'm asking is I want to make the point here that the reason here has to do, with connected to these students, and it's our way to respond to that. So what's happening in Elk River and the other districts relative to this issue?
Yeah.
Representative Zerwas.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Representative Moriarty. I think that's an excellent question. I think to provide a little bit of context, the Elk River School District, or the Elk River Area School District, is a very large school district by landmass, stretching from the very west end of Elk River over to Ramsey and Anoka, and then north to south. It goes from Zimmerman down to Rogers. It's in Hennepin County in Rogers. It's in Wright County in Otsego. It goes as far west in Otsego along I-94 to the Albertville outlet malls. It's a very large county, and it's not every portion of that area is an affluent area by any stretch of the imagination. We have a large rural component, and then down into Rogers, we have a lot of families that are moving out of the cities and into Rogers, and it's a very diverse. The southern part of the district is a very diverse part of the district.
Representative Mariani.
Madam Chair, and I'll just be super brief. I think that these kind of then responses seem appropriate. And we've created this instrument precisely for these kind of issues. What I'm struck with, though, is having this conversation right here, right now, independent of what we're doing to support low-income communities through the other things that we do. Particularly some of the rumor mills, that are spreading around relative to the Health and Human Services budget, which is one of the primary ways in which this legislative body provides support for struggling families precisely in order to have healthy communities. So I do applaud the effort here. I want to make sure that we continue to have this conversation consistent in terms of the investments that we make as a legislature in these families and these communities that cuts across not just education, but also in health and human and transportation and other issues as well. You don't need to respond to that. I just want to make sure that, we're having not just an isolated conversation, but one where we're going to hold up these values consistently across our decisions here. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Representative Mariani. Representative Murphy.
Madam Chair, Mr. Strom, how would I move 709 up to the list on top?
Mr. Strom.
Madam Chair, members, under the bill that's in front of you, the districts are sorted in enrollment for the top 20 largest school districts in the state. I printed just the first page, as the remaining districts would not be eligible. Duluth's, I believe, about 7 or 8 down on the list. So if you were to amend the bill to include the top 30, that would cover a district like Duluth. I'll double check real quick, but I think their baseline revenue in the Duluth School District might be above the $1,400 per pupil already, but I'll double check that real quick here.
Thank you.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Representative Tice.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I just had probably a similar question to what Representative Murphy did. So could you just say again, when I look at St. Cloud, their baseline revenue is $1,375, so that puts them out of contention. Is that what I'm hearing?
Mr. Strom.
Madam Chair, members, the way I read the bill is that the compensatory revenue continues to be calculated the current way it does, which is at the site level. And so you're not seeing the site data underneath this. And if the site is below the 1,400, that rolls forward. And that's, I think, why the St. Cloud number is showing as a 0 there, even though the baseline revenue per enrollee is $1,375. If it were calculated all at the district level, that'd be a $25 difference, and it'd be that $25 times the, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I'm sorry, my mind is a little messy today. The column to the right of that, Madam Chair, the 2,408, that's the baseline revenue per free and reduced lunch student. That's the number that the 1,400 compares to. So each of the sites in St. Cloud essentially is above that level, and so there's no additional revenue. The ones at the top of the page with zeros are those that are over that 1,400, but it's that fourth to last column, baseline revenue per free and reduced lunch student, not baseline revenue per enrollee, that the formula is keying off. Again, my apologies for that. And one other thing, I noticed when I sorted this at the last minute that the 4 subtotals at the top are wrong. When I sorted, those went nuts. The individual district amounts are still all right, and the state total at the very top is correct. But the 4 subtotals got inadvertently mixed up when I sorted, so I apologize for that. But the end result is fine on the last 3 columns, but the subtotals on the first 4 lines there are in error.
Okay, so members, just to be clear, those, he's talking about the subtotals at the top of the page where it says Minneapolis, St. Paul, other metro, greater Minnesota, and charters, just to disregard that. Representative Tice, are you good? Okay. Representative Dabney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Representative Zerwas, I'm not without sympathy here. I know you've got some challenges. I think it was maybe 3 years ago that the African-American graduation rate in Elk River dropped 15 percentage points in 1 year. And I'm aware you've been making your way back up. But I am trying to understand some of the data here. I assume that you've got the sheet that Representative Strom, sorry. Mr. Strom presented.
I do not have that sheet, but I can.
Oh,
Thank you, Representative Strom.
I have that sheet.
Very good. It shows Elk River as having a free and reduced price lunch rate of 15.1%. But the state says it's I'm getting 2 different data points. One says 15.1, the other says, I think it's 17.3. Either one puts you in the bottom quartile of just these 20 districts. The state average is 30-some%, so below half of the state average. What number should I be looking at there? What is your free and reduced price lunch? Uh-oh, he's reaching for his phone or...
Calculator.
Calculator.
all right. Mr. Hine is doing some calculating for us.
And I think that the challenge is,
Representative
and Madam Chair, and Representative Dabney, I think one of the challenges is, and this was touched on a little bit earlier, is one of our challenges is with so many facilities and so many buildings that as we don't have the concentration of free and reduced lunch in one portion of the district or in one building, that we're not going up on the compensatory by the site. And I think that's the challenge, is that as that compensatory aid kind of gets watered down, is what can you do with that money in one site? I'm being handed a calculator that says 17.6.
17.6, all right. Madam Chair, follow.
Representative Dabney.
Thank you, and to the gentleman from the business office, since you're the guy with the calculator. Do you know what percentage of that 17.6 qualifies for free and what for reduced? And this is amazing that he can do this.
This is why they have the jobs they do.
Yes.
Mr. Hine, I'll give you a moment to run those calculations.
About 12.5% would be free, and thus the other 5.1 reduced.
Representative Dabney.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just still quite low. So thank you very much. That helps.
Thank you. Representative Jurgens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is probably for Mr. Strom. If I'm looking at this spreadsheet and one of my school districts is on there, what column should I be looking at to see if this legislation would provide a benefit to them?
Thank you. And Mr. Strom, why don't you just quickly explain the spreadsheet and the calculations?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Jurgens, the fourth to last column shows the current law compensatory revenue per free and reduced lunch student. And the reduced lunch students under the current compensatory formula count as half, which is why there's the difference between the 17% number that the business manager just spoke to and the 15% number on this. So if we use the Elk River line as the example, which is about 7 lines down, the fourth to last column shows that they get $637 per free and reduced lunch student of compensatory revenue. The bill essentially says that a district that qualifies comes up to $1,400 of revenue if it's below that level. And so you can see that for Elk River, the 637 is lower than the 1,400. The difference between those is the third to right-hand column, the $763 per free and half reduced lunch student. And that times the free and half reduced lunch student comes to a total of $1.5 million of additional revenue. And then that last column essentially says how much revenue on a per student basis is it, so that it compares to other formulas when we're looking at revenue per student. So for your district, if your district in that fourth to last column is below $1,400 per pupil, then the third to last column will show the increase that you'll get per the adjusted lunch count, which is the free lunch count plus the half reduced lunch count. And then the second to last column will show the total revenue that you would receive under this provision. And the final column is essentially how much is that per kid, per student. And so those are the relevant columns here. The first several columns go through the calculation to arrive at that compensatory revenue number.
Perfect, that's what I needed, thank you.
Okay, you bet.
All right, thank you. All right, not seeing any other questions. Final comments, Representative Zerwas.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, members, for hearing the bill and for the good conversation. I know there are districts that that fall in this area, and especially districts that have really large areas and several buildings that, as those free and reduced lunch students are spread out through the district, even though you don't have high concentrations in a particular school or particular geographic part of the district, it's our responsibility to teach those students and to provide those services to the students. And that's why this bill is coming forward, and I thank the committee for their time.
All right, thank you, Representative Zerwas. And I will renew my motion that House File 2104 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill or action at a later time. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. Let's now go to House File 1963. Representative Lomer, you're here and ready, and Representative New is in another committee presenting another bill, so move you up on the list. All right, and Representative Lummer, I will go ahead and move that House File 1963 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill or further action at a later time. Welcome to the committee.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and members. Thank you for hearing House File 1963, sorry. So the goal of this legislation is to ensure that the financial interests of the state and the taxpayers are protected, and that careful capacity planning by school districts takes place when taxpayers have voted in favor of a school district bond or levy. This legislation also requires that the funds be spent by the school district consistent with the purposes provided to the Department of Education during the review and comment process. This proposal helps to ensure that school closures are thoughtfully planned decisions that reflect long-term trends rather than a reaction to short-term conditions. This proposal requires that if a district decides to close a school and then wants to expand or build another school within 5 years of the school closure, they need to return to the taxpayers for a vote of approval. School districts deserve to have flexibility in planning how they allocate and spend funds. Taxpayers deserve assurances that the funds will be spent for the stated purpose on the ballot. Taxpayers also have the right to require approval for additional spending for increased instructional space when proposed soon after school closures. So, just want to add a few things. Unless approved by the voters, House File 1963 will prevent the use of school district funds for acquisition of a net new instructional space if a schoolhouse has been closed within 5 years. House File 1963 will ensure that careful long-range planning takes place before decisions are made to close existing school buildings or acquire new facilities. So Sections 1 and 2 of the bill require a public referendum if a school district wants to use its capital levy or its lease levy to increase net instructional space within 5 years of a decision to close a schoolhouse. These levies could still be used for nearly all the purposes currently allowed, such as a roof repair or other building projects or leasing for storage purposes, without restriction. House File 1963 also will protect the voice of the voters when a bond referendum has already taken place. So Section 3 will modify the credit enhancement program for school districts, under which state provides a guarantee for local debt obligations, to make it available only to those districts that follow through in a wholly consistent manner on building projects as submitted to the Commissioner of Education for review and approved by the voters. Likewise, Section 4 provides the same wholly consistent standard for school building projects as submitted to the Commissioner of Education for review and approved by the voters when a school district issues bonds. So with me today are Krista Thomas and Allison Komarick, their constituents. They want to share the situation that transpired in Stillwater School District and the genesis of this bill. And I just want to add, you know, this has happened in similar situations across the state, not only Stillwater, even though they're going to discuss Stillwater. So it's happened in Rochester, it's happened in Duluth, and it's happened in Robbinsdale. So there's kind of a pattern here. So they're going to share with you now. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, and welcome to your testifiers. And for any of you testifying, please just state your name before you provide your testimony. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. I'm Allison Kamark, and I'm a parent and a taxpayer in Stillwater. Thanks for the opportunity to be here and discuss and support HF 1963, and thank you to Representative Lomer for bringing this bill forward. I'm here today to talk about what happened in our community in Stillwater and how it contributed to the evolution of this bill that is important to citizens in all parts of the state of Minnesota. Not long ago, the Stillwater School District campaigned for and eventually received voter support for a nearly $100 million bond to create improvements in our district. They persuaded public support for the bond by submitting to voters a description of the planned improvements, which was essentially an outline of the Minnesota Department of Education review and comment summary, and that's the document that has been provided to you. Within 6 months of passing the referendum, major changes and deviations from stated campaign promises were made, including the closure of 3 elementary schools. The changes are shown on your document by the red X's. Due to these deviations, a local parent filed a lawsuit to try to hold the district accountable to the promises that they had made to voters. Unfortunately, that parent lost the legal case because the judge stated that the current law only holds the district accountable to the, quote, ballot language. Now, the ballot language only includes a few short, nondescript sentences on the ballot, and this essentially gave the district a blank check. It seriously compromised the integrity of the relationship between the school board and the taxpayers. To further complicate the situation, the district requested a lease levy to tax citizens for additional increase in instructional space on a newly constructed elementary school, while at the same time closing 3 fully functional, usable, and paid-for elementary schools. Sadly, through this experience, it was discovered that numerous other examples of similar bait-and-switch scenarios have occurred across the state. It has also become apparent that trust in school boards and also the potential to pass future bonds and levies is in peril. This bill just isn't about Stillwater. Stillwater just happens to be a good example of what has happened. And although the ship has likely already sailed on our Stillwater situation, a valuable lesson has been learned. Taxpayers should have reasonable assurances that when bond campaigns are sold to the public, the money will be used for the purposes intended. If changes need to be made, they should have to go back to the taxpayers and get permission. Otherwise, why would any bond campaign run on trust? Especially if there are no consequences for reallocating the money. This bill provides assurances that the people's will is being honored and that taxpayer rights are being secured. It prevents the potential for future bait and switch maneuvers. It works to provide accountability that will restore trust between taxpayers and school boards. This will secure future bonds and levies that will help create new and meaningful educational opportunities for the children of Minnesota. The bill does not infringe on the ability of a school board to devise and bring forward thoughtfully planned proposals, including expansion of educational space. It simply encourages carefully planned proposals that are accurately depicted to and supported by the taxpayers. The language in this bill is protecting the best interests of the students and the taxpayers by creating a construct in which school boards are given the freedom and the accountability to do their jobs well. Thank you for your time and consideration on this important bill.
Thank you very much, Ms. Kromarek, and welcome.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Thank you for allowing us to speak, and thank you for Representative Lomer for bringing this important bill forward. My name is Krista Thomas, and I am a taxpayer and parent in Stillwater, and I support this bill. So at times we see legislation that's built on hypothetical scenarios that's built as a safeguard. Unfortunately, we have seen real-life examples here across the state of Minnesota in places such as Stillwater, Robbinsdale, Duluth, and Rochester. And it's just wrong. Voters were deceived and still feel deceived today. Taxpayers supported a bond that weren't fulfilled as promised, and they are now facing funding levies on top of that. So current statutes currently allow this to happen without taxpayer approval. Some may argue that taxpayers have potential remedies at the ballot box or by pursuing the court system. Well, something compelling that we learned in the Stillwater scenario is that 62% of the voters in Stillwater voted for school board candidates that were against the school closures. In an expensive district-paid survey, 2/3 of the community stated they were opposed to breaking bond promises. So due to the timing of the election cycle, voters may have to wait up to 2 to 4 years in order to affect change. An incredible amount of damage and erosion in trust can happen within 2 to 4 years. And voters should not have to wait up to 4 years to have their bond promises fulfilled. Also, going to court is not a great option. It's costly, it's inefficient, and it's burdensome to all involved. As we saw, pursuing the avenue under laws written today is not successful. Voters going into the booth are expecting that the promises marketed to them is what they're going in to vote on. The condensed ballot language shouldn't need to be second-guessed, nor should our ballots need to be multiple pages long. This is why stronger policy is needed and what is accomplished through this bill. We don't want to create situations where taxpayers have to take districts to court. This bill will provide taxpayers protective means while strengthening the relationship between the community and the school districts. So if the ballot box nor litigation is the answer, then what about the Minnesota Department of Education? There's an extensive process in place, and why isn't that enough? Several of us have spoken to the Commissioner of Education and MDE to ask, well, what happens when districts don't implement the plans as provided during the review and comment process? MDE has stated that they do not have statutory authority to what happens during the referendum plans once they sign off on them. So this deficit is another reason why legislation is needed to make the review and comment process meaningful. Lastly, a strength of this bill is that it does allow districts to expand if necessary. What this encourages is for districts to thoughtfully plan for future and limits taxing citizens without their consent after school closures. For example, if a district wants to expand instructional space within 6 months of a school closing, they can do this with taxpayer support. This is an ideal example of truly functional local control. With sound logic, rationale, and trust, the community will support the school district. This bill helps to accomplish those things for all across the state of Minnesota, and it will make easier for the districts to secure money from their citizens in the future. Thank you very much for your time and consideration of this bill.
Thank you very much, Ms. Thomas. Are there any questions for these witnesses? And are there any other witnesses that you have, Representative Lomer?
We don't have any more right now.
All right. Questions? Representative Jurgens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Lomer, how does this bill account for school districts that have changing demographics? And I think that was the case in Stillwater, where the students that were previously in a certain area of the district, that area didn't have young students anymore, and they were in another part of the district. How does this still give the school districts flexibility to adjust and make changes when their demographics change?
Representative Lomer, Ms. Thomas?
Yeah, Representative, thank you for the question. It's a good one. So what this does is it does provide a district to be able to do that. So in a point in time when there is a changing demographics, and typically a school district can predict that out 3 to 5 years, as long as there's taxpayer support in doing so, a district can absolutely change and add on to and build onto instructional space as that.
Representative Jurgens?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for this panel? And I think we may have other testifiers, though. Are there folks with concerns? Please come forward. Thank you very much, Ms. Thomas and Ms. Kromarek. I make sure I'm pronouncing that right. If you want to just stick close in case there's another question that comes up for either of you. All right, welcome, and you both all know the drill, so just introduce yourselves. Welcome.
My name is Gary Amoroso. I serve as Executive Director of the Minnesota Association of School Administrators. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Just want to share a couple of thoughts about the bill. Did have a chance to spend a minute or two with Representative Lomer and share some of our concerns. Subsection 1 and 2, concerns about the 5 years. We think that actually does tie the hands of a district. While I'd like to hope, and as a superintendent, I always thought we could project out 3 to 5 years, that's not the reality all the time. Depending on the size of the district, depending on situations, you have economic conditions that can change, you have enrollment conditions that can change. We have legislative conditions that change. We've recently approved all-day K. We have pre-K now as an opportunity. Those types of situations can cause a district, even through the best planning, to need to make modifications in a way that would not necessarily coincide with the timing of having a referendum. And also, there's an additional cost to that referendum that a district would have to bear. I respectfully believe that we do have a checks and balance system in place. And that checks and balance system is if anyone believes that a district has acted in a manner that is not in accordance with the law, they have the right to take legal action. And without getting into specifics, that did happen in this case, and the district was not found to have violated the law. And I think that's important to realize, that I get concerned anytime we start talking about a piece of legislation that is really based on 1 or 2 or 3 situations. When you look at all of the bonds and levies that are passed in this state, I think it's very concerning that we're thinking about making a significant change based on a few examples. And lastly, when you look at the conversation of checks and balances, it is the ballot box. All of you sit here are elected representatives. Every member of the school board is an elected representative. If the community truly believes that the school board or individual members have been untrue, have been, have not given the appropriate, decisions based on what the public thought, those people can be voted out. That's democracy. That is democracy in action. So I respectfully request that you seriously consider moving this bill forward. I do not think it's in the best interest of our districts, and then in the end, to me, that means it's not in the best interest of our students. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Amoroso. Ms. Kelleher.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. My name is Grace Kelleher, and I represent the Minnesota School Boards Association, and I want to state for the record that I apologize to Representative Lomer for not sitting down and walking through our concerns with her on this. But let me start out as school districts are our local government, and if you look at our other partners, cities and counties, they are given a significant portion of levy authority on an ongoing basis to meet all kinds of needs, everything from facilities to pensions. School districts are unique, and I want to say the poor cousin of the other local governments for the fact that we do have to go to the voters and ask their opinion about how they want their school district to go forward, and they do. Some of the problems that this bill would cause with this 5-year moratorium on instruction space, Gary mentioned the idea about state aid. You know, you gave us all-day K. What if you decided to give Fab Labs to school districts around the state? Or you developed a cool NASA program that we wanted to, bring to all the schools around the state. There are things on the state legislative level that really impact instructional space. Also, consolidation impacts instructional space, and we've got one going on right now in outstate Minnesota. And the fact that they want to consolidate those schools down would be limited by this bill, too. And lastly, the idea that there could be an influx of students into an area. And at that point, would that limit us in going forward? And I just think this is one more big mandate on the school districts going forward. The checks and balances are clearly already in the law. If you read this section of law, it's pretty clear how you go. And the appeal system, if you think there's malfeasance in office or you think the school district didn't follow the law with the bond referendum, you can take it to court, as these folks did. I mean, this actually demonstrated that the system worked going forward. And I want you to consider that document we give to MDE early on, the review and comment, has to be signed by the commissioner. So the commissioner could always choose not to sign it if they didn't like what they saw. But it's a sketch as you go forward, and we fill it out as we go on. So for instance, that review and comment doesn't come with exact bids for everything in a school district to go forward. I had an example just today from a superintendent who's in the audience who was building a new school, and they had it set, and they'd gone to the public and asked, and as they were getting to the fine tuning, the city was going to tax them $2.1 million for building where they were because they wanted to build roundabouts, they wanted to redo the sewer systems around, and there was no money in the budget to pay those kinds of taxes. And it was not clear to the district going forward, even after a public campaign. So they eventually moved that school into the county where they didn't have to face the $2.1 million in taxes. But you could make an argument that this bill would limit their ability to do those kinds of savings going forward. I think this is not something we need going forward. We need your help and support, and we kindly ask you to vote against this bill. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Kelleher. And is there another person who wished to testify? Welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Carl Blondin. I live in Stillwater, Minnesota. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a parent of a student, a parent of a graduate of Stillwater Area High School, the husband of a graduate of Stillwater Area High School. I have quite a few in-laws who are graduates and other relatives graduates of Stillwater Area High School. I have been somewhat active as a citizen in school district politics for a number of years, not running for office, but expressing my concerns. I guess I have a little bit of a reputation as a fiscal conservative. I see a lot of problems with this law. It is a big change in the way the law in Minnesota is now. Looking at the first section, Section 1, 15B, notwithstanding paragraph A, within 5 years of a school board's final decision to close a schoolhouse under section 123B.51 subdivision 5, the levy under subdivision 13A must not be used to increase net instructional space unless approved by a majority of voters at a public referendum. Well, does that mean that any school district within the last 5 years that's increased space must go back and get an approval? Or is it just districts like Stillwater that are in the middle of a large construction project? What if a school district has a generous benefactor who's willing to donate an electron microscope, a mass spectrometer, and other science equipment? You'll have to excuse me, I'm not a scientist, but would require the addition of a lab. Let's say the district has $1 million in its capital fund. It could not simply take that $1 million and build a lab. It would have to go out and get approval from the public before building that lab to perhaps receive $2 or $3 million of scientific equipment. When we look at Section 3 at the change, to be eligible for state payment under this section, a debt obligation for a project requiring review and comment under Section 123B.71 and Subdivision 8 must only be spent on purposes wholly consistent with the information required under Section 123B.71, Subdivision 9, Clause 4. This is not only a change in the law, it's a sea change in Minnesota law. Presently, the only question that school district voters are given is, may we tax you X dollars? And the district can list things it intends to do. It is not a promise that every penny will be spent or every project will be completed. About a lifetime ago, there was a case involving a city in northern Minnesota, and the name of the case escapes me, where during the Depression, instead of spending $3 million on a building, the city spent about $350,000. Someone brought a lawsuit, and our Supreme Court said no. When you ask the voters for permission to tax, that's a ceiling. It's not a guarantee on the amount. This law significantly changes levy law in the state of Minnesota, and it changes it only to school districts, putting school districts on different footing than cities and counties. I have problems with Section 4. It appears to be somewhat contradictory. The way the law is now, when money is raised in a bond referendum, the taxing authority, the school district, may use it for a project, but if it doesn't use it, it may use it to defease the obligations on the bond, pay principal, pay interest, pay any penalties. This seems to take away the discretion of the school board to abandon bad ideas, to adjust to changes. I think we have to ask a question: is the system broken? If the answer is no, there is no reason for this bill. Now, two of my fellow citizens came up and testified for the political reasons in favor. Let me offer some political reasons against it.
All right, and Mr. Blondin, I will ask you to be very brief and give you about 1 more minute to wrap up.
Our school district has 10 elementary buildings. If the Stillwater Area School District had the same number of elementary buildings per number of students as Matamidi, Mounds View, or Minnetonka, we would have 5 elementary buildings. Our district is spending far too much money on operations and maintenance and far too much money on building level administration. The change will mean Stillwater will have 7 elementary schools, 40% more than other districts that perform well. That's still a generous opportunity for change. There is dissent in Stillwater. This bill is not about solving a problem, it's about creating a problem for the Stillwater School Board. Quite frankly, the people proposing this bill don't want to solve a problem, and they don't want to be the ones to do it. They want the legislature to impose it. Because should they take over the school board and decide to reopen those schools, I can tell you as a person who served on the school district's finance review group 2 years ago, it will gut our college preparatory program at Stillwater High School. Not to brag, I graduated from Carleton College. I know what's needed to prepare people for a competitive academic environment. Our school district will lose that ability if this bill is passed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blunden. And I think that's it for testifiers that I'm aware of. Anyone else wishing to testify? All right, questions for any of the testifiers that have presented? Representative Dabney.
Madam Chair, a question I think either for you or not council. The last testifier in particular, but all the testifiers have brought up issues related to tax law and civil law in terms of the court's decision on interpreting the ballot language and related issues. Is this bill going to go to either of those committees? I guess I'm back on my committee jurisdiction thing that I was on yesterday. My apologies, but at least I'm consistent.
Well, it was the intention to just lay this over today. I would be happy to consult with the chairs of the Civil Law and Tax Committee. I don't know that I see necessarily that jurisdictional boundary. I mean, yes, this subject was the topic of a lawsuit that ensued, but I don't know that, but that would trigger necessarily a referral by the language of this bill to civil law, but the chair of the Civil Law Committee is here, and she's taking a look, so.
That's true.
I'm sure she would assert her jurisdiction if that was something that she felt was needed.
Representative Scott, I got your back, apparently.
Representative Scott.
Madam Chair, thank you, and Representative Dabney, thanks for looking out for me. But I don't see any civil law provisions in this. I look at the statutes that are addressed, and there's nothing in here. I mean, I think it was alluded to the fact that a disgruntled citizen can always bring something to the courts, but if I heard a bill every time that was the case, then I'd be hearing a lot more bills than I do. So, but I appreciate you thinking a few steps ahead.
Thank you. I think there's still the tax question because these are bond referendums.
Yeah.
And I'm just not clear on the history here of tax referendum, bond or operating levy referendums, and whether those bills traditionally travel to taxes as part of the oversight, or if they're solely the jurisdiction of this committee. And I'll defer to council on that.
Yeah, and Mr. Strom, just in my looking at this, it doesn't change necessarily sort of the levy process and that, but does put restrictions on school districts on their exercise of that. Am I interpreting this correctly?
Yes, Madam Chair, I believe so. Representative Dabney, the Ed Finance Omnibus Bill always goes to the Tax Committee as well. At the risk of taking just a moment more, there are election issues as well, but I think in general this committee has asserted its primacy over K-12 bond issues and operating referendum amounts issues, even though those are seen by some as election issues. But I think it's a longstanding practice of this committee that anything that affects a school funding formula really belongs in this committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
All right. Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Lomer, do you have the question that was on the ballot before you so we could hear what it contained? Because I get the impression that maybe it was a misleading question that the voters responded to, not knowing that perhaps there were nuances in the language.
Representative Lomer.
Madam Chair and Representative Erickson, that's a great question. I don't have the wording with me. My testifiers may. I don't know if they do. I don't know if there's anybody in the audience that does. But I would just say that I think you're right. And what this bill really is about, if you all looked in your packets and saw this appendix, this is from the referendum planning that goes through MDE, you can see where the school district came and told, well, they went to MDE, and then they went to the citizens, and they said they were going to do improvements on all of these schools. And people in my district believed that, and they were actually told as well that if this bond referendum did not pass, that schools would be closed. And so there were people who actually took leave of absences from their jobs. They worked really hard to make sure this referendum passed. And within 6 months, they did a complete turnaround, and they X'd off these 3 schools. They didn't do any improvements to them, but they closed them. So this is truly a bait and switch. And so I'm not, do you have the wording? Okay. Okay, so I'm being told it was completely nondescript. It did not say. And that's why the judge said they were only being held to the language on the ballot. But, so this is an attempt to correct that, so it can't be a bait and switch.
So, Madam
Representative
Chair,
Erickson.
maybe it's
Accountability.
ambiguity in these questions that we need to look more closely at rather than this kind of thing. I mean, I don't know, but I think in future time, we could have that discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Erickson. And I think, yeah, a couple of things here. One is, how long or complicated do you want the question to be on the ballot? And I know that's always a struggle with, what kind of information is contained in the question. Is it clear to the voters what they're voting on and that? But the other is, it's probably difficult to, you can't put a chart like this or that kind of extensive information on a ballot. But, my own district, not on a bond issue, but on a referendum issue, and other decisions have had some dissension within the school district. And I know when a district prepares a campaign to go out, there's an extensive amount of public outreach and meetings and discussion about what's going to be done with the money if approved by the voters. And so I do think there is a trust issue there. And sort of a truth in advertising issue. Not discounting some of the testimony from representatives of the school districts that circumstances can change. But I do think as an overall policy, there should be an expectation that the information put forward in the plans to be followed if the money is granted by the community is going to be, there'll be some fidelity with regards to adhering to that. So I think you raise a really important and sort of complex issue here. So other questions or comments? If not, I want to thank you, and I want to thank all the testifiers for being with us today on this issue. And with that, I'm going to renew my motion that House File 1963 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill or further action at a later time.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair and members.
Thank you very much, Representative Lomer. Okay, all right. So, members, we have secured the basement hearing room for 3 o'clock. So once we get to 2:45, we will adjourn. We will reconvene in the basement, or excuse me, we will recess. Thank you. We will recess, reconvene in the basement hearing room at 3 o'clock if we don't get through the rest of our agenda by 2:45, which I'm going to suspect we may not. Representative Murphy.
Madam Chair, could I ask Mr. Kennedy a question?
You may.
About your earlier email today about a 9 o'clock meeting on Friday, is that a certain thing?
We don't know yet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Murphy. And obviously, we'll keep members as informed as possible. I'm continuing to get requests for hearings, and I try to grant as many as I can. Almost a certainty. If we can avoid it, it's just going to mean possibly very late night on Thursday, but I'm not even sure that would get us there. So, with that, I think Representative New, I think I saw her come in. Is she here? All right. So. This is my first bill. Well, and you're off to a good start, Representative New. right, the tradition continues. Thank you very much for the treats. We appreciate it.
I've learned by example of other freshmen not bringing treats.
Yes,
The
don't.
results are not good.
Don't be that member, is our admonishment. So,
I don't have to learn through experience.
all right, so I would move that House File 2145 be laid over for possible inclusion in an omnibus bill or further action at a later time. And Representative New, welcome, and we're happy to hear about your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I know time is short. I will be brief in my comments and turn some time over to testifiers. Madam Chair and members, thank you for hearing this bill. The purpose of House File 2145 is to ensure that all children are being served regardless of where they are receiving their compulsory instruction. Currently, elementary-age students in non-public school are not eligible for guidance and counseling services, so this bill seeks to fix that. And with that, I will turn the time over to my testifiers, if that's okay.
All right, very well. Welcome. Please come on forward. And if you would just state your name before beginning your testimony.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Jennifer Cassidy. I've been a teacher and administrator for about 30 years and have worked in multiple school environments from pre-K through 12. I'm currently principal at Annunciation Catholic School in South Minneapolis. We have over 400 students from preschool to 8th grade, and I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak on behalf of my colleagues as you consider expanding counseling and mental health services to K-6 students in our schools. We do currently receive the counseling services for 7th and 8th grade, but certainly see the need for that to expand. This has become a serious topic among our principals in recent years, and we've seen a very sharp increase in students from all backgrounds who are dealing with mental health issues. I know for me, it's difficult for me to deal with these situations without the help of a counselor. While I'm trained in education and academic supports and have been learning different ways to meet the diverse learning needs of our students, I certainly do not have the depth of knowledge and support for the children dealing with these serious issues. When it comes to mental health issues, I do not want to risk doing it the wrong way. As a school, we made the decision to try and support these students by hiring a counselor to work with us 2 days a week. And this person has been a lifeline for our staff and students in many situations that we could not deal with alone. In my first year, the counselor and I worked together almost daily to support Maggie, who was a 3rd grade student who had been battling depression since 1st grade. Over the years, the counselor helped us work with the family and teachers to help her literally make it through each day. There were several times when we needed the counselor to help intervene when Maggie wanted to take her own life. With the support of the counselor in the school community, Maggie did graduate last year, and she still keeps in touch with our school counselor as she continues to work her way through high school. Last year, we also were dealing with a 2nd grade student who did not want to live. His parents had recently separated, and he didn't see how his life could matter without his family together. He's not able to pull himself out of that depression on his own, but we need to service him so he can come to school and continue to learn and work. And our counselor's been crucial in helping us support him and his family so he can participate in school. And this year, we've seen a dramatic increase in students who are struggling. We have a 1st grader dealing with anxiety that prevents him from coming to school on so many days. We have other students who are dealing with depression and anxiety that also keeps them from feeling comfortable coming to class. They miss so much school, and that adds to their anxiety. We have multiple students now suffering from detachment disorder. Each student is unique in what they're feeling and how they react, and our counselors are providing us the insights to be able to begin to understand how to help. And their experience and expertise has been vital to our support for these students and families. We know when students are coming with this frame of mind, schoolwork, it doesn't matter. They're worried about living, they're worried about life, their basic needs. And so in learning doesn't matter for them either. That becomes much lower on their list. And in a class of students, sometimes these students can get quiet and kind of drift away. They may be overlooked, or sometimes they begin to act out and misbehave. And as a staff, we take this seriously. We want to serve all of our students. We want to do the best we can for them. And so we continue to seek resources. We're attending workshops. We invited PACER Clinic workshops to come and give us more information on mental health issues so we can learn all we can. But it really does take a trained professional to understand and support students with these deeper mental health issues. It is not something you can learn in an hour or two like other trainings.
And while we adapt to learning disabilities because we have our strong backgrounds in academics and we understand how students learn, we don't have the same tools to offer the students with mental health issues, and we cannot give them true support. Our counselors are helping them in ways that we cannot. However, the 2 days a week that we have our counselor, we have found is not enough for the students who are now battling these issues. It continues to increase. I'm calling the counselor almost every day of the week for advice and help. Students don't struggle only on the Tuesdays and Wednesdays that our counselors are at our school. So without this professional help, we really do risk losing these students. When it comes to their mental health issues, we really can't afford to make a mistake. I strongly believe that providing counseling support to the younger students in grades K through 6 is crucial investment in our children. If these issues go untreated or interfere with their learning over time, the children begin to fall behind. And by middle school, their problems are deeper, their academic challenges are greater. Having the support to treat these children when these issues first appear, give them the best chance to succeed. So I really, truly thank you for allowing us this opportunity to share our stories. Our stories are many, just one of many that we have across our schools. We appreciate your consideration of expanding this funding. It can make the difference to so many children. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Cassidy. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Chair, and the members of the Education Finance Committee. My name is Carrie Staples, and I'm privileged to serve as principal of St. Alphonsus Catholic School, which is in Brooklyn Center. We're a small Catholic school. I have 170 students from the cities of Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, Minneapolis, Crystal, New Hope, Fridley, Maple Grove, and other surrounding communities. These communities have seen a change over the last few years, becoming first-ring suburbs where families from many of the African nations, Mexico, Laos, or Vietnam are settling and living with their families. This alone is a hurdle in our community, but the economic struggles our families face are real, and their sacrifice to send their child to a Catholic school that is tuition-driven shows their commitment to their children. 41% of my students receive free or reduced lunch, and 50% of those students receive some tuition assistance. No family ever receives a full scholarship, as we believe all of our families need to have a level of financial commitment and be invested in their child's Catholic education. When you walk through the halls of St. Al's, you will see a very diverse community and students who are a part of our amazing family. At St. Al's, we are committed to honoring all with dignity and compassion, empowering leadership through service, and igniting the spiritual life of all of our students. We discover and value the strengths of our students and challenge them to achieve their full potential as lifelong learners. As you heard in this mission, we are not only about the academics. We want our students to leave us with skills of leadership, perseverance, compassion, and so much more. The teachers at our school are remarkable, and when they choose us for their profession, they knew they were choosing a job where they're not just the academic leader, but they're the mom, the coach, the nurse, the cook, the referee, and now the counselor. When our students enter the doors each morning, they come to us with so many experiences we cannot even imagine. Some students have spent the night at an auntie's house because their mom or dad works overnight. Some of the students have been in daycare for the same reason. Some have not had breakfast, or the lunch they had the day before was their last meal. Some are staying with relatives as their parents are traveling out of the country or living in another country. Some come with tears in their eyes due to an interaction they've had with an adult in their home. Some have no idea if today is the day that their family may face deportation. They come to us with so many stories, and trying to get them all on an even playing field in the academic arena is next to, if not impossible. This is where counseling services help us. Our annual budget does not allow for many extras, but I am committed to having a counselor that is very part-time. At this point, I can provide a counselor 1 day a week with our students in grades, for our students in grades K through 6 within my budget. Our counselor, Erin, has been a gift to our teaching staff and our students. She's intervened and helped on numerous occasions. Some examples include a 5th grade child whose mother is battling alcoholism. Since 1st grade, this little girl has been the adult in her house. She has had to help her younger brother with homework, getting him dressed in the morning, getting them both on the bus. Erin has helped her understand it's okay to ask for help, how to ask her dad for this help, and Erin has been an important part in allowing this family to find help for this disease as well. We have a 2nd grade girl who struggles every day with tantrums and outbursts. Erin has met with the family who is from Africa to explain what mental health issues are and how they're affecting their daughter. What has been eye-opening for all of us is how how different cultures see mental health issues and how they treat them. Aaron has done the research and communicates effectively with this family. A kindergarten family who's now dealing with the release of a relative from prison who was involved in sexual abuse against one of our students. Aaron has worked with the parent as well as the teacher on how to work with this student, words to use to help her realize that school is her safe place. She has also found resources for the parent for outside help for the entire family. Over the course of the years Aaron has been with us, we've had students who struggle in school with academics. Because of the practice Aaron belongs to, we're able to have academic or behavioral testing done right at school free of charge to our families. This financial relief is welcomed by the families who would struggle to get the help they need for their child to help them with their academic and social emotional success. Aaron has established friendship groups for some of our younger students who have trouble making friends. She has a lunch bunch where she brings in students who may be bullying others or don't know how to express themselves and works through situations in a non-threatening way. She's also just an ear for the entire staff and myself when we have a student who's just off. Our students could use a counselor 5 days a week. Mondays are not just the day that they have issues. The majority of our students leave us after 8th grade and go off to a Catholic high school. However, more and more of our students are leaving after 8th grade and entering the public school system. Both systems have counseling available, but waiting till this time to begin getting them the help that they need is far too late. Our children and their families are making enormous sacrifices to attend a school that allows them to practice their faith, that is financially handcuffed and unable to provide the counseling services so many of these children require at this formative age. I firmly believe that helping non-public schools support counseling services in the kindergarten through 6th grade setting is vital to the development of a healthier whole child and can help counseling as they grow older. Having counseling services to all of our children is going to allow our teachers to do what they do best, and that is to teach, and leave the counseling to the professionals. In order to allow students to reach their full potential, we need more resources to let teachers teach, counselors counsel, and give every child every opportunity to develop into intelligent, healthy, and well-rounded leaders for our future. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Staples. Any questions for these testifiers or for the author? Representative Sandsted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Part of this bill is also talking about textbooks and subscription costs, different things like that. Maybe to the author, can you just tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely.
Representative New.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair and Representative Sandsted. Really, when this law was enacted, things like online textbooks didn't exist. So really, this is just, it's not changing any funding for those textbooks. It's just allowing us to catch up to technology.
Representative Sandsted.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It also includes registration fees for AP courses delivered online.
Correct. And again,
Representative
sorry.
New.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, those things do not change any funding. It simply says that software educational technology can also be defined as online courses.
Representative Sandsted.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Representative Slocum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The treats were excellent.
Hopefully they'll help.
My question also is with the extra things that this bill covers. Why couldn't a non-public school child who's having some serious issues, they're covered for some health services, why couldn't that child be referred out to their personal doctor and then get referrals for assessments and mental health services instead of relying on the school to pay for them?
Sure. I guess
Representative New.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess I would refer to the original intent of the non-public pupil aid, and that is to ensure that all children are served regardless of where they're receiving that compulsory education.
Representative Slocum.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I would think, given the choice of where your child goes to school, that then they could use their personal medical insurance to handle mental health crises and counseling services and things like that. And I mean, you're getting money for these services. I would think a referral would be in line with my thinking. Kind of.
I think Ms. Cassidy or Ms. Staples, did you have something you want to add?
I think what you're referring to, when we're talking about the mental health services, is having somebody on site to help support students when they even have issues during the day. We certainly work with our school districts right now when we see children who are, through our after accommodations, are still struggling, and work with the district, and if they need to be assessed or try and match them up with services that may provide an evaluation or a diagnosis. But what's most important here, and I think the difference we see in our schools, even for us right now, we do receive the counseling services for 7th and 8th graders as a K-8 school. Having somebody come into our school that works with these children during the day, or for the K-6, where we see these kids can have their struggles in the middle of the school day. We already know what the diagnosis is, and many of these children may receive counseling outside, but for them to actually make it through the day, having that support on site, and to support our teachers as well, I think as Mrs. Staples said too, giving our teachers, who are primarily academic professionals, an understanding of the deeper mental health issues, so we can continue to help these children succeed and really begin to form them and support their parents, because oftentimes the parents have no idea how to help these children as well. So this is beyond just an evaluation or a diagnosis, or sometimes even that outside support, and it's very necessary today for these children.
Representative Slocum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, we recently heard some very moving testimony from the intermediate districts that talked about severely mentally ill kids who, and they would love to have someone on site who could handle this. You're talking about regular school kids who are not in the crises that the intermediate kids are in and have been for many years oftentimes. And they would love to have someone on site all the time that could prescribe medication and could handle some of the crises, help handle some of the crises. And from my opinion, I would think that would be a lot more worthy of us spending money on, my opinion, for what it's worth.
Thank you, Representative Slocum. Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wish that Mr. Strom would do an explanation of non-public pupil aid, and maybe its history, please.
Thank you. Mr. Strom, very briefly.
Madam Chair, Representative Erickson, very briefly, as was mentioned, there are two parts to this. The first part is determining what cost basis is used to provide that service. When the non-public aid, and the second part is the use of the money by the non-public schools or the resource by the non-public schools. When the statute was passed, one of the big concerns at that time was a concern about entanglement on the church and state issues. So there were some very strong limits on what could be provided and where the service could be provided and how it could be provided. So, for example, with the textbooks, the title remains with the district, and the school folks could tell you how their districts work with their schools work with the local school districts, but often the district provides that service at a neutral site on behalf of the school, and they don't provide it in the school, so there's not an issue with the sectarian nature of the school. And so there's the two parts to it, and the counseling part falls under both sides. The costs for counseling that the non-public aid is computed under would go up because elementary services are included. And then on the distribution side, it would work the same way. The use could now be for elementary students in the way that the funding is directed, but again, in consultation with the school district. And again, the witnesses may want to very quickly tell you how their relationship works. But generally speaking, it's through the district that the service is provided.
So, Madam Chair, maybe the witnesses would note through which districts perhaps your aid flows.
So,
Ms. Staples?
St. Alphonsus is in District 279, which is Osseo area schools, and our money comes through them. Our current counseling services for 7th and 8th grade, we contract with a private counseling service, who is then therefore paid by the district per our per pupil dollar for counseling services for 7th and 8th grade. Same with textbooks. We order all of our textbooks through the district. They're shipped to the district, then to us. And our health, our nurse as well. We have a nurse that's given to us 1 day a week based on our enrollment.
And Madam Chair, I think that's a good clarification for all of us to understand, that the money doesn't go to the private or parochial. It goes to the district who is receiving the non-public pupil aid.
Thank you, Representative Erickson. Representative Sandsted?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going back to this part talking about the software registration fees, different things like that. Or actually, it's not. I'm looking for clarification. Is the fee you're talking here about, is it about registering the software or a fee for taking a course?
That would, my understanding is
Representative
that, thank you, Madam Chair. My understanding is that that's the fee for taking the course.
My question then for the, thank you, Madam Chair. My question for the author, isn't the section talking about software?
Can you clarify?
Representative
Madam
Sandsted?
Chair, in my mind, a fee for a course versus a fee for registering a piece of software is a completely different issue. Where your language is falling under software and educational technology, that seems to be more software, hardware in my mind. And this is paying for something obviously other than software or hardware. And then you also include fees for taking AP courses delivered online. A question maybe for the author or maybe Mr. Strom. Do public school students have those fees paid for if they choose to take a course online?
Mr. Strom?
Madam Chair, I'll let the author address her intent with whether the registration fee is separate from the course fee or not. I'm not aware of what exactly they're getting at there. In terms of when a public school student takes an AP or IB style course, with those courses, there's a separate state appropriation for some of the testing services. But generally speaking, the cost for that course is going to be provided through the district's regular funding for that student for that portion of time. And I'm not sure, we can do some checking. I'm not sure what % of the public school AP courses are taken online versus with an instructor at site. I don't know the answer to that offhand.
Thank you. And Representative Noon, did you want to comment?
Sure. I was just going to make it clear that it is for the registration fee. It is not for the course itself. So this is not providing tuition per se. This is simply for the registration fee.
Representative Scott?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I was just looking at House Research's summary here, and it looks like, and I wasn't aware of this, but it says here in the first paragraph, it says, a district must provide the same health services to pupils of non-public schools as it provides to public school pupils. So my question would be, do they offer counseling services in public school elementary settings? I don't know who answered that.
Madam Chair, Representative
Mr. Strong.
I think the thing to keep in mind is the original language of the statute was all designed to be very cautious with the church-state relationship there. And so the idea behind that was directing the district to only provide, and the same applied for the non-public pupil transportation, to essentially provide the same service, nothing different than what was provided to the public school students to the non-publics. But the way in practice that actually works is the dollar value of that service is calculated. The average per public school dollar value is determined, and then that service is provided for the non-publics. For the non-publics that apply for that, the dollar value is what controls the service. So essentially what they're providing in the same service is counseling, but the dollar value is limited to the statewide average that's spent for that. And because the thought is this all goes through the district, it's telling the district, do what you're doing, but for the non-public students on a health and welfare basis. And as the testifiers said, in their case, the contract was the manner in which their school district decided, but the decision lay with the school district as to how to make those counseling services available for the non-public student. And currently, the statute talks about secondary counseling services. So that's where adding the words elementary would bring in the other grades for them.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Representative Thiessen?
Just quickly, why was it originally only secondary?
Mr. Strom?
Or was there another reason?
Madam Chair, Representative Thiessen, I can't say for certain, but my guess is that when that passed, most of the counseling service that was provided was the career and guidance counseling at the secondary level. This was back in the early 70s when this passed, and much less related to the mental health needs that districts face now.
All right. Representative New, any final comments on your bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I just appreciate your consideration of this bill. I think this is a really important issue to offer these mental health services, particularly for younger kids. I think that if we can help kids when they're young, it has a positive impact as they get older. So I appreciate your consideration.
All right, thank you, Representative New. And I would renew my motion that House File 2145 be laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus or further action at a later time. Thank you very much to you and your testifiers, and thank you for the treats. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Representative Baker, we're going to try to get you up, and we'll see if we can get your bill done here by 2:45. I'm laying down the challenge, and then we will recess until 3 o'clock and move to the basement. All right, so I'll move that House File 535 be laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill or further action at a later time. Welcome, Representative Baker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We will take that challenge, and I think we're going to be successful with that. I'm going to speak very quickly. House File 535 is a very special school out in Wilmer. It takes care of kids between 10 and 19 that need help. They've made some bad choices. They're in detention center, but we also want to make sure they get summer school. So we're just trying to find a little link for the summer school component. We need to try to get these kids caught up. And I have a teacher and the administrator from the school with me today. We'll make it very short. And I also think the fiscal note is being handed out as we speak. There is a small fiscal note to this, but Madam Chair, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, and welcome to your testifiers. Each of you would just state your name before you provide your testimony.
Thank you. My name is Linda Ba, and I'm the administrator for the alternative programs out in Wilmer, and I want to thank you for hearing us today. As you just heard, we are part of the school that really services students across the state of Minnesota. Most of the students that come to Prairie Lakes are not Wilmer students. They come from all over the place. And our school is unique in that the education that it does provide for our students. Kids do not just go on front of a computer. They actually have teachers in all core subject areas, which makes us unique compared to most facilities. Students, as we said, yes, many of them are there because they've made a bad choice. Some of them are there because of their life circumstances. But one thing that we do find when our students are there is they're ready to learn. They're ready to learn. They have 3 meals a day. They are safe, they are chemical-free, they are ready to learn. We have this sometimes for our students, the first time in many years they felt this way. We have students who come to us. I have a student this year that was in 10 placements prior to getting to us about a month ago. Because of that, yes, they were in school at all those placements, and they took snippets of class, but never really finished a class, which means they're no closer to graduation than when they started in the fall. What we like to offer our students when they are there and they are safe and they can really optimize learning is a place where they can really get caught up. Summertime's a great opportunity for this. At this time, we do not have funding that allows us to have summer school for these students. And what we are wanting to do is we want them to have that opportunity. We want to close the gap for these kids. Many of these kids will be the first that graduate in their family. We have students that actually graduate while they are with us. So that is what we are really asking for. We want some money to help these kids so that they are successful because we want them to be productive citizens. And again, we're servicing kids from all over the state of Minnesota, but when they're with us, they are our Wilmer students, and we want to treat them with all the dignity and respect that we would treat anybody that lived in Wilmer their entire life. I have Darren here who have some things to say as well.
All right, welcome, Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Darren Anderson, and I'm a social studies teacher at Lake Park School and Prairie Lakes Education Center. This bill is really important to our school. A lot of the students that we serve aren't very successful in school. Many of them are a year or two behind. And our summer programming allows these students not just to get caught up in credits, but to be successful students. We have a few students right now currently that are about ready to start wrapping up, getting caught up, more or less. I had a student just recently, I've got a couple of letters here from students that have expressed their very gratitude to our program. I have a student, like I said, right now, who was about 13 credits short from graduating and would like to graduate with her graduating class this year. And when I had a conversation with her, she said she was 13 credits, she wanted to do the GED. And I talked to her about, well, by the time May comes around, you'll be about 6 credits short. And if you go through our summer program, you'll be graduated. So this summer program allows these students to get a second chance in school, to get an education. The most powerful tool that these kids can have is, in fact, an education. A lot of our students struggle in school because they didn't like school, they weren't successful in it. And I've had a lot of students who have said, you know, this is the best school I've ever been at. This school taught me that I'm important, that I don't have to be an A student or I don't have to be the best student. I'm special to who I am, you know, of how I do. I'm important. And to these students, this school is a lifesaver. It's a lifeline to success. I had a student, a former student, just a few months back down at the Mall of America, who approached me 4 years later and looked at me and said, if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for this program, I never would have graduated. I never would be going to college. I wouldn't be successful. You had a huge impact in my life. And that's huge. And to have a student say that, especially in the situation, the program they're in, that means the world to somebody like me, who our number one goal is to be their voice, to give them an opportunity. These students deserve to be treated just like any other student and to be given this opportunity. The last thing I will say with our school and why it's so important is we don't just offer a blanket social studies or English or math. I myself, as a social studies teacher, I teach American government, geography, American history, and economics. So these kids get the same class schedule that a high school student at the Wilmer Senior High would get. They wouldn't, of course, be the exact same classes, but they would be getting the same credits. Our goal is to graduate these kids, give them a second chance, and help them become lifelong learners and to be successful. And that's what our summer program does. It helps these kids be successful and to get caught up and to continue their education.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Mr. Anderson. Representative Slocum has a question.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a question for Mr. Strom. He's getting it today. Sorry. So sorry. We've gone back and forth about ALCs and charter schools and extended day, extended year funding. Because I had a bill, the charter schools only get 25% of the extended time funding at this point. And I also had a bill that provided a grant program for the sober schools and and then we had talked about ALCs and how they get funded for extended time, extended year. Can you review that for me?
Mr. Strom.
Madam Chair, Representative Slocum, I believe the issue is a couple-fold here. The biggest issue for Wilmer is because their regular ALC students are making a choice to be there, and so they qualify for extended time funding. Children who are placed in a center like Prairie Lakes are not making a choice, and as a result don't meet the definition. And so that's why, even though the ALC, I believe, is a single ALC, the teachers there aren't allowed to use extended time money for the children who are essentially involuntarily, they're not voluntarily choosing. There's, and I'm cognizant of the time limitations, Madam Chair. There's a number of issues all wrapped up with the area learning centers, but I think in this case, this is the important distinction, is the voluntary nature of the students' participation in the program.
And Mrs. Strum, is that because the court system has placed them there?
Madam Chair, yes.
Okay. Representative Slocum.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the clarification. I'm just going to put a plug in for the charter schools, that they receive adequate funding too. Many of them address the needs of kids that haven't made it in the traditional districts. In fact, some entire schools are made up of kids like that. And they have special needs too. And I would hope we could scrape together the pennies in the couch to fund them more than just 25% for their extended day and summer school programs.
Well, thank you, and I think you know the chair is very supportive of that with a very challenging target 2 years ago in the first go-around of this committee's finance bill. I was able to include that as one of our priorities of getting us at least to that 25%. So,
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I do appreciate that. But let's send a message to our good speaker that we need some money.
gotcha. I'm quite confident he's been hearing that, so. All right, any other questions, comments? Representative Murphy?
Madam Chair, would, if this were, is included, then will the money, additional money only go to Wilmer School District for this particular care and treatment center, or will it be a statewide for other care and treatment centers where the children are not choosing to be there?
Thank you, Representative Murphy, and I'll just confirm with Mr. Strom. It's my understanding it's just for the centers in Wilmer, that as the bill is written currently. Did you have another question, Representative Murphy? Okay, all right.
I'll just get busy on an amendment.
We appreciate a heads up. Thank you. So, Representative Baker, why don't you close us out with a couple of comments?
Final word, Madam Chair. Thank you so much. I'm really proud of this school, and we appreciate your support. I just wanted to take 15 seconds to say the world of Minnesota lost a good friend to education yesterday in Wilmer. Our school board chairman passed away suddenly. He was 45 years old and left 5 young children, I think, 5 or 6, 6 young children, a good friend, Jared Inez. And I just wanted to make a comment to you folks as education champions as well. He was a true champion in the Wilmer School District, and I just wanted to say a shout out to him and his poor family. And we're praying for them. It was a sudden thing. So again, thank you for this hearing today, and we look forward to hopefully some better days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Baker, and we are truly saddened to learn that sad news, and please extend the committee's condolences to his family. With that, I'll renew my motion that House File 535 be laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus bill. Members, if you would please put your materials back in your folders. The pages, we'll try to quickly transfer it down, and we will be in recess for 15 minutes, reconvening at 3 o'clock in the basement hearing room. Thank you.